If you currently are going through an identity crisis, a loss of self, and you are confused, frustrated, angry, depressed, not sure what to do, where to go, how to think, I understand and I can feel the pain. That's why I do what I do, why I guide and mentor people going through this, because it's something deeply lived and I completely understand, which is why in this video I am so excited to share with you a perspective, a way to look at this moment and how it's going to bring you hope. It's going to give you a meaning, a sense of meaning throughout this pain of identity loss and this loss of self. And so I am so excited to share with you. And again, my name is Estevan, and I help guide and mentor individuals who are going through identity loss to move towards a life of ego-soul integration full of peace and purpose. I want to start by asking you a question. How long, if you can look back before you lost your sense of self, how long were you that identity? Let's call it a frame to which you live by, the way you ground your experiences, see things, experience things, taste things. Everything is grounded within a particular frame, a narrative, a story. How long have you been in that frame? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And if you imagine before that, what identity were you? And then that transition between one identity to the next. If you think back in some way, in some shape and form, it has elevated you to a more deeper appreciation and a deeper connection to the self, to the soul. That period from one identity to the next is a transition. It's an initiation. Let me explain. It's hard for us to change particular habits, change the way we see the world, change our relationship with life when we are in a particular frame that's pretty rigid. So let's imagine you were born into a family of mechanics. Your father was a mechanic, his father before him was a mechanic, and now you sort of very funneled and squeezed into being a mechanic. It's just sort of something you've had to do. And you've enjoyed it and you've liked it. But there's always been a calling for something different, for something that was more in line with you, the self, and what you wanted deep from within. But you have friends in that environment, you already have a family business there, and you've grounded your world there. Your experiences, relationships, everything is built on that frame. So it's very hard to want to shift and change. But then oftentimes one day or it's compounding, it feels like a moment, but it's stacked across multiple weeks, months, years, where eventually you wake up and you say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a mechanic anymore. And no matter how much I force it, I can't get myself into it. And what happens? Well, you have, to some sense, vacated and left that frame. You've exited the frame. But by exiting the frame, you enter what I call the no man's land. The space between spaces, where you are neither here nor there. Wandering the desert is another way I like to put it as well. When you are wandering the desert, it is scary, it is uncomfortable, it is frightening, and it feels endless, literally like a desert. It feels like there is no horizon, nothing is changing. But what is really an opportunity in that moment is a moment to really reevaluate and look at the narratives and look at the stories you've lived by, and to think about, have you been doing what you've been doing because you've wanted to? Or have you been controlled by a story? Have you been controlled by a complex? Maybe you were bullied a lot as a kid, and because you were bullied, it shaped the way you see relationships, and it shapes the way you interact with particular kinds of people. And that perspective turned into a story, and that story is how you live, how you make decisions, how you build things, create things, destroy things. And we don't really catch them. We can't really see them when we're too zoomed in. And so when you get smacked out of that frame into a state of identity loss, now everything is right in front of you. Your mind is running 100 miles an hour. There's thoughts conflicting, and it is overwhelming. But at the same time, it is a chance to look within and to scrap things that no longer fit you. That way you can deepen your connection with the soul, the divine soul that you have. It's in there. It's just covered by a veil, covered by layers of pain and story and narrative and maybe arrogance, achievement, whatever it is. It's layered. And identity loss is the opportunity to peel back those layers. The way you can start peeling it back is by asking questions. The questions you can ask yourself: who am I supposed to be now? Who have I always been? What am I supposed to become now? And when you ask these sort of questions, you want to ask with a curious mind, an adventurous mind. Always when you reflect inward and when you ask questions, you want to try your best to be curious, adventurous, loving, compassionate, but with a firm hand. And I know when it gets really heated, and I know when it gets tough, we want to berate ourselves with words and we say the worst things, but forgive yourself when you do that. I know I do it. I get lost in it sometimes. I know the clients I work with do it, and you always feel guilty. You always feel embarrassed and shameful because it's as if you were yelling at yourself. You were berating your inner child, your inner soul within. But do not go down that rabbit hole of shame and guilt and frustration. Forgive yourself for it. This is really important, and it sounds simple and at face value, but it's something really difficult to do in the moment. But if you can exercise it, it's going to do a wonder in terms of how you interact with your inner world, how you interact with your soul. And this is why I wanted to make this video today. I literally got off a call with one of my clients, and we had this incredible conversation, great breakthrough. We had some good insights as to navigating the process of identity loss and how to really see it in a different way. And so I hope this landed, and I hope there's something you can take from it to make sense of your reality, to make sense of your situation. And if you want to also be a part of my community in a deeper way outside of YouTube, click the button below. Head over to my website and then sign up to my newsletter, where I'm also going to send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide. And this is essentially a toolkit and you can use to help you navigate through identity loss. It's pretty in-depth. It's around 18 pages long. I really give you as much information as possible to help you through this in a self-paced way. I really hope this helped you. I really hope this helped open up some things. And as always, thank you very much. And I will see you on the next video.